I believe that it's not matter that is emitting a field. I think it's the field that creates matter. So when you change the field, you change matter, and the science behind that is very supportive. So my ability to articulate it, my research that I've done since then, and the studies that I've done in additional education has helped me to be able to put together a formula. And that formula, in this present time, is producing very dramatic changes in people's lives and health. And let's do gratitude, appreciation, kindness, thankfulness, and let's start self-regulating. And we put heart rate monitors on them to make sure that they were doing it at 10 minutes a day for 3 days in a row, right? 3 times a day. At the end of 3 days, 3.5 days, we remeasured everything. Their IgA levels went up 50%. 50%. That means that their body was really beginning to move back into balance and homeostasis. So gratitude, the funny thing about gratitude is that we're conditioned and hypnotized into believing that we need a reason to be grateful. No, when something happens to you, or something's happening to you, when you're receiving something, or you've received something, you feel gratitude and you say thank you. Well, when you start to feel gratitude ahead of the actual experience, the emotional signature of gratitude means it's happening to you. It's already happened to you. That gratitude is the ultimate state of receiving. So you can take a person who's been diagnosed with cancer, say as an example, and they're living in fear, and turning that battleship around. Instead of them surrendering to fear every day, you teach them how to surrender to love or to gratitude. And when they start self-regulating, well, their immune system is going to get stronger. We know that. And at the same time, the thought of them getting better is going to make it into the body, because the thought it can be received by the feeling of gratitude, because the body's believing as the unconscious mind that it's in a state to receive, that something wonderful is happening to it. So you can begin to program the autonomic nervous system to work in a very different way, and it takes practice, but yes, it's entirely possible. And we measure this, and once you know the skill on how to do this, it's just like anything else. Like, once you know how to do it, you can do it with your eyes open as well as your eyes closed, and you can turn some of those very strong chemicals that we become like addicts. It's a drug. The arousal of the stress hormones. People start to become very dependent on them, and they use the problems and conditions in their life to reaffirm this emotional need to feel these chemicals, and that means they become addicted to the life they don't even like, and if you can turn on that stress response just by thought alone, you can become addicted to your own thoughts. Now this is a challenge for people, because this explains why change is so hard. But by the same means, just like an addict overcoming heroin, you're going to have some cravings. You're going to say, hey, it's been 2 days since you suffered. I mean, come on. The hardest part about change is not making the same choices you did the day before. And the moment you decide to make a different choice, get ready. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be unfamiliar. It's going to be unpredictable. There's going to be some uncertainty. You're leaving the known, biologically, neurologically, chemically, hormonally, genetically. You're stepping into a river, to cross a river to become somebody else. And when people really start understanding that their personality creates their personal reality, and your personality is made up of how you think, how you act, and how you feel, that means then the present personality who's listening to this show has created the present personal reality called their life. And if you want to create a new life, a new personal reality, you got to change your personality. That means you got to start thinking about what you've been thinking about and change it. Become aware of your unconscious habits and behaviors, and notice them, and look at the emotions that you live by every single day that keep you connected to the past, and decide, do these emotions belong in my future? And I think most people try to create a new personal reality as the same personality, and it doesn't work. But when people really begin to understand that they can rewire their brain, they can make new neurochemistry, they can make new hormones, they can signal new genes. I mean, it all of a sudden, when they start becoming a different person, then they don't have to visualize anything. They don't have to see the tumor shrinking. The disease existed in the old person. They're somebody else. And,
oh my God.
And it just disappears. And it does require unlearning. It does require breaking the habit of being yourself.
Yeah.
It does require a certain level of energy and awareness. And it requires lighting a match in a dark place and sitting in that discomfort, and not getting up and checking your cell phone, or getting on the phone, or watching TV, you're being distracted by in your computer. This is, you gotta be willing to know that you gotta sit in that discomfort, because that's what people are running from all the time. So the person who's going to say, no, you know what, I'm really insecure, or I live in fear, or whoa, I feel really empty. Now, this is the moment. This is a defining moment for people, because now they're saying, okay, I got to believe that there's something else here. And I think when you believe in yourself, you believe in possibilities. And when you believe in possibilities, you believe in yourself. So people start taking their power back in a very unique way, and they go all in. They go all in, and they understand then. And I think science has become the contemporary language of mysticism. I think science is what demystifies the mystical. And so and this is a time in history where it's not enough to just know. It's a time in history to know how. And that's for me the most important thing. I love being with people that want to put it to the test. And when you do, I'm always astounded by how unlimited human beings are. And you can't tell me you're too old to do this. We have people in their 80s in our work that have brain scans that will blow your mind. You can't tell me you're too sick to do this. We have people that have been really sick that turn that thing around. You can't tell me you had a turbulent past. There are people that have had brutal pasts that are happy, healthy, well-adjusted people. You can't tell me you're too overweight, too underweight. I've seen it in all shapes, sizes, and it's an amazing thing, because once you start reasoning it and you start thinking about it, it does make sense. And when it starts making sense to people, then they can begin to assign more meaning behind what they're doing and put more intention behind it. And one of the things that has to happen is that you can't control the outcome. In other words, it's not going to happen the way you think it should, because that's a known. You got to be open to having it happen in a way that you can't predict. And that means you got to lay down the very thing you use your whole life to get what you want for something greater to occur. And that's something we have to work on as well. But step by step, people make these brilliant changes by changing their identity. Well, I mean, information is the biggest way to reach people, and I now know that if you give people sound scientific information, and every time we learn something new, we make new connections in our brain. I mean, research shows that 1 hour of focused concentration on a concept or an idea doubles the number of connections in your brain, that you have physical evidence. You're installing new hardware. Now, I now know if you can build a model of understanding with people, and then the next step is to have them turn to the person next to them and explain it. If they can't explain it, then it's not wired in their brain, and they're going to doubt it's possible. Once they start developing this model, they're making their brain fire in new sequences, new patterns, and new combinations. And whenever you make your brain work differently, you're changing your mind, because mind is the brain in action. So then as they're able to build this model and repeat it, they're installing their neurological hardware in their brain in preparation for an experience. And the more you understand what you're doing and why, the how gets easier. So then if you can set up the conditions in the environment and give people the proper instructions, and certain percentage of those people are going to get their behaviors to match their intentions. They're going to get their actions equal to their thoughts. They're going to get their mind and body working together. And when they do, they're going to have a profound experience. Now, experience further enriches the circuitry in your brain. That's what experience does. It enhances circuitry. And the end product of an experience is an emotion. Now, all of a sudden, you start to feel unlimited. You start to feel inspired. You start to feel abundant. You start to feel empowered, whatever the feeling is. Now you're teaching your body emotionally to understand what your mind is intellectually understood. So knowledge is for the mind and experiences for the body. And in that moment, you're beginning to embody the truth of that philosophy, that theory. And you're literally signaling new genes in new ways. The body's getting new information. And that new information is what's selecting and instructing the gene. And genes make proteins, and proteins are responsible for the structure and function of your body, and the expression of proteins is the expression of life. So all of a sudden you make new hormones, new enzymes, you make new tissue. The body's, you're beginning to become the very thing that you're putting your attention on. Now, if you've done it once, you should be able to do it again. And if you can repeat an experience over and over again, you're going to neurochemically condition your mind and body to begin to work as one. And when you've done something so many times that your body now knows how to do it as well as your mind, now it's innate in you. It's automatic. It's second nature. It's a skill. It's a habit. It's who you become. It's who you are. Now you're beginning to master that philosophy. You're embodying it. You're owning it. So I think we go from philosopher to initiate to master, from mind to body to soul, from knowledge to experience to wisdom, to thinking to doing to being, to learning it with your head, applying it with your hands, and knowing it by heart. And people have to come to a point where they all of a sudden realize that they're a participant in this whole thing. And even if the person says, if they accept, hey, look, I don't know that I can beat this thing, but at least I can live the next several years of my life happy. It makes a huge difference.
We are continuing with our daily practice of completing the inspiring quotes. In the previous video we were looking for 2 words of Joe Dispenza's quote. The quote goes like this: you can change your brain just by... The correct answer is thinking differently. So you can change your brain just by thinking differently. Congratulations to everyone with the correct answer. This one wasn't so easy, but since I know you love Joe Dispenza, today's quote is also from Joe Dispenza. We are looking for 2 words. So the quote goes like this: we cannot create a new future by holding on to the emotions of... Write your answers in the comments below the video and tell me if you love this video and our new way of ending the videos. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Even if you're not sure what the right answer is, try and guess. The first one with the correct answer is the winner. So don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button and don't miss any of the new videos and new challenges. If you found this video helpful, share it with your friends. Help me make it more popular. If you really like what we do here and want to support us, you can join our channel and our community for a symbolic fee and gain many other additional features. You can do that by clicking the join button next to the subscribe button, or you can click on the link in the description of this video. Stay good and have a great day.